part of the scenes that Attah appeared was where there was a rape scene. And why do you have to introduce that particular scene to the movie? For Attah.
Was there a rape scene? Was anybody seen being raped?
That was what it was called, because the lady who Attah slept, it wasn't. She wasn't married. No, the lady wasn't married to Attah. The person who Attah slept with, was not married to Attah. Was a wife to somebody else. But Attah had an affair with the lady. Why did you introduce that part to the role of Attah in the play?
There's something called creative license. Every writer has what they call the conflict line. No story starts from 1 to 100 without you creating the conflict. That was an intentional conflict created to heighten the tension of the movie. And in the past, we hear that if the king finds even your wife worthy of him, that woman ceases to be your wife. That was the power of the king. So why are we making it sound like we don't? Yes, that's for. Have you been anywhere where they worship Attah? Please, they should see the other side.
They say you shouldn't have put it into play.
Why?
Because you are making it known to the world.
That what?
That you are painting the kingdom in a bad light, especially the seat of Attah as a paramount ruler of the Igala kingdom.
Yes,
that that particular scene wasn't supposed to be in play.
Was it scene?
But that was what it depicted.
That was what it depicted.
Yes.
Because we are talking about the abominations. Bro, when a man deviates from tradition, there is nothing that man cannot do.
Okay, so that particular scene was to establish that the Attah has deviated from the tradition of the.
Yes, you kept hearing things.
And he started having the what's it called? The repercussion.
The repercussion started manifesting. Now, I want us to all go back in history. Maybe take it back from the era of Amoboni, the first, backward. Let us remind ourselves, if you ever told the history, let us know who was this man. The Attah. A man who is awoken daily by the sounds of trumpet.
A very good day to you. Welcome to What Now. Today we have a special guest in the studio, and this person is somebody who is very familiar to you, and especially on the screen in Kogi State, in Nigeria, and in diaspora. He's been one of the founding fathers of movie making or movie makers in Kogi State, especially from the Igala extraction, and even Kogi State as a whole. He's been doing well and still in the business of filmmaking, film production, and all of that, directing too. So today we are privileged to have him. He just released one of his latest film called or titled The Ohioma. He's here in the studio, Thomson Makolo Jnr. You're welcome to What Now.
Thank you, Daspo, and thank you to the entire team and crew of What Now.
Thank you
guys
so
are
much.
doing an amazing job, fantastic job.
Yes, it's a privilege having you here. And today we want to look at your recent film, which has been almost everywhere, because you have premiered it in several parts of the country and even the state. So I want you to give us a preamble into the movie Ohioma. How did you come about the film Ohioma?
Okay, thank you very much. Ohioma is an expression of the many unspoken words about the Igala people. It tells the story of Ohioma,
Yes.
the kingdom diviner, as it were in the Igala tradition. The Igala tradition has the office of a man called the Oyuga Attah. So we learned in history. The famous Inikpi Omodoko sacrifice was a divination by the Oyuga Attah.
So the revelation came through the
Oyuga Attah.
Yes.
Yes. He's a diviner. He defines for the king, tells the king what is to come, when, how, and what is to be done. So we told this story through the eyes of the Ohioma Attah, whom the gods have revealed to an awaiting doom, an incoming doom, an impending doom that was going to manifest. And he took the words to the king and said, Gabaido, the gods are angry. Look, something terrible is going to happen. I saw it clearly. The gods revealed to me. Please, stand up. So we told the story from the eye of the Ohioma Attah.
So did Ohioma came with the solution to some of these,
the
foreseen problems?
Yes,
coming to
the
the kingdom?
Ohioma does not have the solution.
Okay.
He said, Your Majesty, you have forsaken the gods. You have abandoned the ways of kings. And there is a looming crisis coming because of your abandonment.
Yeah.
Please, perform the rites of tradition.
Okay, now, this story you have told,
Yes.
is it based on real life
It's
events?
not a
of the
real life
Igala
story.
people?
No, it's not a real life story.
Okay. Okay.
It is a creation of Thomson Makolo Jnr's thought.
Okay. Based on what you see happening today, currently?
But yes.
Okay.
From the story we're told of the past
Yes.
to where we are now and where we will be in the next 5-10 years. Right?
Yeah.
And the Ohioma questions His Majesty. All he did was an appeal. Watch that movie again from the beginning to the end. It was because that was the only person who could speak to the king.
Yes.
He reminded him that, Your Majesty, I remember the day you were coronated. I remembered how sons and daughters of the Igala kingdom came from far and near. How strangers and foreigners came to celebrate that the king was coronated.
Yes.
If I had seen this before then, I would have objected. Yes. The place of an executive governor in Kogi State, let me bring it. No, not even Kogi State. The place of an executive governor, the place of a local government chairman, the place of a president cannot be compromised with civilization or modernity. Is a call to service. And traditional institutions and traditional rulers must also realize that first and foremost, your biggest obligation is to the tradition.
So with the story you have told now,
Yes.
it simply states that some of the things that were done in the times of the past Attahs, the early Attahs,
Yes.
some of those things are not being well practiced. Some of the customs and traditions they laid down are not being well, guided.
Yes.
And you feel there's a need
For us
a
to
wake
go
up,
back.
to go back and trace
Go
where we
back
have
to
gone
our
wrong.
track.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, go back to our track. Why do you blame a governor for not constructing road if you as a king cannot observe your festival? So why? What makes you different from the governor? Why do you blame the governor for insecurity when you as a traditional ruler cannot perform the right of tradition? Are you not guilty of the same crime? Negligence? No.
So in the
Traditionally,
yes.
Traditionally, I want you to look at what is happening today. Look, except for a few places, civilization can never outrun tradition. We are alive now. These are modern times. We see the Olu of Warri,
Yes.
a young man, schooled abroad, lived abroad, worked abroad. But he understood clearly the responsibility of accepting to be crowned as the Olu of Warri. His primary responsibility is to the throne and tradition, not even to religion.
Yes.
Bringing back their dead festivals and traditions, creating his own, his own history, and upholding what he met, what he heard of, and what he wants to leave for the children yet unborn.
Interesting.
So it is a fictional story created,
yes,
to remind us of the stories of the past. Are we still on that track? Sure, 10% are realities, like the characters are real characters.
Yes.
The Attah, of course, is what we have in our tradition. Now, much more than any film has done since the history of this kingdom, no film has been able to exclusively market the Igala cultural heritage like Ohioma has done. From the costuming to the titles and salutations.
Yes.
Before now, I see people dress, and I've seen some movies done by Igala people, supposedly known Igala people, and you see a traditional ruler wear one bead or two blue bead. No, that's not us. Nobody questioned that. I have seen a movie done where the Attah was without an earring. Nobody questioned that. Please endeavor, and I'm asking you all audience, please go and watch Ohioma and see whether we have in any way demarketed the personality, character of an Attah. We amplified the magnitude, the might of Attah. We heard that Attah is God.
And it was seen in that movie specifically, yes.
And that was the character we created. We heard that his law, his words were law. And that was the character we created. A king is a man that you cannot just walk to and say what is in your mind, except you are right. How did the title, the salutation of Amideju came about? History told us that the then Attah beheaded his father-in-law in the presence of the daughter because they had a quarrel. And the wife asked, what can you do? And then it took him 3 days. In 3 days, he didn't say one word. And he sent for the father. He said, come. Your daughter said to me in a quarrel that what can I do?
As the Attah.
And the man was trying to make justification that Gaba Bubulekin. And he said they should behead him. He was beheaded right in the presence of the daughter. And the woman went flat on the floor and said, Amideju, today I realized that you are the giver and taker of life. And that was the beginning of the salutation of Amideju. Are we still being feared? Are we?
So now, what was the message? What was the real message, the purpose of that movie? Because a lot of people are complaining that the movie did not have direct message that is in a way devalue the Igala people, the Attah Palace and all of that. So what was the message? What was the purpose of that movie?
The message was a reawakening call to tradition. How do you say that the movie devalued or demarketed or debased the kingdom? There are other characters in the movie. The Oyugata is that not from the palace? Do we even have that office in existence today? Please, I want you to make your independence findings. And to everyone who criticized the movie and talked about it demarketing, devaluing, debasing the honor of the Attah, you have not watched the movie. Maybe you just watched it with sentiment. Go back again. We built a character of a man called Attah.
Yes.
To be feared. And that was the character that Kanayo exerted. He said you don't mind them. Right? The Ohioma Attah is the royal diviner, the kingdom's diviner, who divines what is to come. Do we still have that today in our tradition? Please find out.
And if you have them, are they actually active?
Now, let me even tell you something. Yes, few years ago, I attended a royal event somewhere in Attah Igala, and I was the youngest person in that event. When the event was done, they asked the then Ohioma to say prayers, and he stood up and said, "Ohioma will let you Ohioma Palace." That was an aberration. You are not. They didn't call you chief imam.
Yes.
Ohioma Attah if I a boy. It's either a mejuma bo. In fact, traditionally, that way you for Ohioma, a mejuma bifa. You are a man that should see beyond what an ordinary man can't see. So, what happened to us? At what point did we leave the mark and said, no, anybody can be now? And then you came up to pray in a royal gathering wearing the 4 royal beads of Ayegbomi Doko. And you were asked to pray in a palace within the Igala kingdom. And you stood up and said, oh, you get you got pade. That's for. The Pope can never be English. The Pope is Pope and is guided by the traditions and doctrines of the Catholic Church.
Yes.
You cannot say because you schooled in the UK or in the US and you are now too civilized and you want to bring a new rule to the Islam. To the Islamic tradition, where prayers are no longer, you say no, you cannot do five daily prayers again. They do a little school, because you are too busy now. No amount of civilization has been able to change the fact that every Muslim over the years uses tasbih. Right?
Yes.
Whether it is made in gold, the name has not changed.
Yes.
And he stood up and said his prayers. And I raised my hand. They were done. And I said, Agagu, please, I want to talk. That means the event was ended. I plead with you. I have attended this event because of your capacity and position as the agent.
Yes.
Not as any other person. So if right in your own palace, the one who wears the bead of sacrifice would stand up with the title of Ohioma Attah to say before us, then we are people with a lost tradition. So if he's a Ohioma Attah, so what you people do now, the Islam, I respect traditions and religion. Divination in Islam is called istiara, right?
Yes.
Right? So istiara we chitake ko hiata chenki anyule bakinyule ni. Baki chenku na aku bakune kun baki anyawa baki anyiwani.
Baki fire boy.
Baki fire boy. Awe gane de takwe ko yatai.
Yes.
So you can now imagine why we are where we are.
Okay. And why the reason why you have to produce that movie
to tell a
story that people should, there should be consciousness in our tradition, in our leaders and traditional tools.
Yes, is you being aware of why you are where you are.
And where some of the problems we face today,
because of our negligence to certain things.
Okay, now I know there's a lot of after your post yesterday, some issues came up that part of the scenes that Attah appeared was where there was a rape scene. And why do you have to introduce that particular scene to the movie, for Attah?
Was there a rape scene? Was anybody seen being raped?
That was what it was called, because the lady who Attah she wasn't married. No, the lady wasn't married to Attah. The person who Attah slept with was not married to Attah, was a wife to somebody else. But Attah had an affair with the lady. Why did you introduce that part to the role of Attah in the play?
There's something called creative license. Every writer has what they call the conflict line. No story starts from 1 to 100 without you creating the conflict. That was an intentional conflict created to heighten the tension of the movie. And in the past, we hear that if the king finds even your wife worthy of him, that woman ceases to be your wife. That was the power of the king. So why are we making it sound like we don't? That's for. Have you been anywhere where they worship Attah? Please, they should see the other side.
They say you shouldn't have put it into play.
Why?
Because you are making it known to the world.
That what?
That you are painting the kingdom in a bad light, especially the seat of Attah as a paramount ruler of the Igala kingdom.
Yes,
that that particular scene wasn't supposed to be in play.
Was it seen?
But that was what it depicted.
That was what it depicted.
Yes.
Because we are talking about the abominations. Bro, when a man deviates from tradition, there's nothing that man cannot do.
Okay, so that particular scene was to establish that the Attah has deviated from the tradition of the.
Yes, you kept hearing things.
And started having the what's it called? The repercussion.
The repercussion started manifesting. Now, I want us to all go back in history. Maybe take it back from the era of Amoboni, the first, backward. Let us remind ourselves, if you ever told the history, let us know who was this man. The Attah. A man who is awoken daily by the sounds of trumpet. That's the honor of a king. Inayo agumele. By the stories we heard, the king does not sleep with lantern. During the early hours of the morning, the Oyuga would have to divine first between the hours of 3:30 to 4. Right? When he divines, and the gods told him that yes, the king will be alive, he tells the trumpeters to go close to his window and start blowing trumpets. Manacho Deshi. And about 4:30, 5 o'clock, the king will increase. So he will not let Fonya tele. They see the ray of light and they go into celebration. That again, the gods woke their king up. Maushati 5:30, they'll stop. Until Attah gets dressed and is coming out to his chambers. History told us that there is a particular council member of the Attah that is in charge of his dressing. Are we aware? No, are we aware that somebody is saddled with responsibility? Ki kafe nyatola. They do kafe atafo. He's not supposed to mix with the ordinary humans. And that was the character we clearly depicted in the movie.
Okay, sir.
You are not seeing that You are not seeing the fact that Kanayo had 5 royal beads on his right and 5 royal beads on his left. You are not seeing that. Go and check other movies that have talked about the character of Attah and check the number of beads in their hands. You are not seeing that.
Okay, moving ahead, sir.
Yes.
I want to ask you, we heard that the palace summoned the producer of Ohioma, that is you, Thomson Makolo Jnr.
Yes.
Why did the palace summon you? Do you have an idea of that?
Okay, first, to start with, some 6 days ago, a call woke me up, a senior friend woke me up with a call and said, okay, there is a brewing controversy coming up, but I shouldn't talk. Let them engage themselves. What is it? Some people have come up to say they are going to petition the movie and submit it to the National Film and Video Censors Board. Now, what kind of mindset is that? Then I saw 2 people did a post and mentioned my page. I saw it, I didn't say anything. Then some 5 days later, one of the prince of the land called me and said some of his friends told him that the movie didn't, portray the Igala kingdom in a good light. That was there any time in history that there was a war between the Ohioma and the Igala people? And I said, I seize a creative license. Because the king is not upholding the honor of tradition and performing the rites that are due of him, these are the things that can happen. It's prophetic.
Yeah.
Because the Huga said, Agabaidu, I see war, I see famine, I see us being held hostage. He said, yes, but I should have reached out to ask for more about history.
But you are not telling history.
Wait.
Like the real life events.
You that owns the history. What have you done with the history? Keep it in your cupboard. Till when someone says something, then you are asking that person should have come to ask. Do you know the amount of investment we are making to even tell these stories? It's not a real life story. Like I said,
like Inikpi.
Fiction. But again, you heard the Oyugata when he was doing that divination. He said, Ayegba, Inikpi, Omodoko, Obiede. You don't see that? And he reminded him that the kingdom, the throne you sit upon, is a throne of sacrifice. Nobody is asking you to bring your own son or daughter to come and sacrifice again. All they are asking is just uphold it. So, we have done 70% fiction, borrowing creative license, and 30% reality. Towards the end of the movie, the other character, the new character that was going to take over, is not an Igala character. They said this one is not doing what the gods ask him to do.
Yes.
Because of that, we shall find another one who is of us. That the gods will give to us the one who will uphold their honor. Did they say that the Ochidoma was going to become the new Attah Igala?
Yes.
You didn't see that.
Brought
And
somebody
I asked
from
him,
amidst them.
and I asked, have you watched the movie? He said, no. I said, go and watch the movie first so that you can speak from the place of knowledge and authority.
Maybe understanding and decoding the message was actually the problem. But with this interaction,
yes. So when you
should be able to get the message.
What the thing to do is no new song becomes clear at one listen. You hear a song, but it doesn't make sense to you. You hear it again, but it draws you. The next time you hear it again, oh, it's okay, this is it. So why did they go to the end of the movie when the Oyuga Attah told his servant Odu that, look, we have been looking for... Did they even see the fact that the Oyuga went in search of a successor from the 4 ruling houses.
Yes.
Did I say 5 ruling houses? Did I say 10 ruling houses? He is not saying because you are not fit, we are going to bring another person from Odu to come and become Attah.
Attah, yes.
He said, go to the 4 ruling houses, get their first and second, and let us check with the gods if any of them fits.
Yes.
Do they not have access and right to the throne like one of the ruling houses who was on the throne? And eventually he didn't know that the one living with him is of the royal blood.
Yes.
But he was an outcast. Because the line says that because his own grandfather didn't become king, he cannot be king. And his father fought that till he died and left a prophecy on the boy. There was no foreign character introduced to come and take over the kingdom. And the Huga went on to tell the young man the story of a king that reigned between 1946 and 1956, which is Attah Igala. And he told of his exploits. He told of his uprightness. He told of his ardent followership to tradition and the story that happened in Kaduna. And I said, yes, this was what happened. And he said, that man, his name is Attah Igala.
Yeah.
Your great grandfather. So is that the character from outside the Igala kingdom? So I don't know. We can do better. So I left it. I didn't say anything. And then there was a call yesterday from the palace, of course, through a secretary. And he said, he's calling, thank God that the phone is on speaker. I said, oh, okay. He said that His Majesty has asked me to come. I said, okay, why? He said, yes, that he said when I'm coming, I should bring the movie to come and play for them. I said, okay, so does the palace have the facility to play a movie? He said, no. I said, I don't have, and it requires money. Can the palace foot the bill for us to bring those equipment? He said he doesn't think so. I said so. But what's the reason? He said because some people said the movie didn't represent the king or be the throne or be the Attah or the kingdom in good light. I said, have you watched the movie? He said, no. I said, please go. And for the record, thank God your phone is on speaker. Leave it on speaker. How many times did I call you to seek the audience of Attah? Before the premiere, how many times? You will run from the authorities, right? How many times? I called the protocol officer who said he was not available. I think
this was before the premiere.
Before the premiere, before any of the
so
premiere.
Attah would have watched the movie even before you take it out.
Yes.
And probably remove that scene
like
that is causing.
Some 3 years ago, I did something. I did a movie, Awumi.
Yeah.
And we created some special scenes to accommodate the character of an Attah. We created an Attah's character in the movie to enable the Attah say some certain words. That was prior to the election in 2023. We needed a declaration. Go and watch that movie, Awumi.
Yeah.
Where the Attah Bokidaga Shine.
I saw it, yes.
Go and watch it. So some of us are more patriotic. I'm a creative, so I'm expressing the burden of all of us. Now they carry put inside film, so we can get a message. That movie was never seen by the royal houses. The first place for us to premiere the movie was the palace. How many of them were there? So I am Otongachiki. What do we do? And I said, okay, fine. You didn't respond to me. You didn't only respond. Okay, you asked me to send the letter of the Attah to your WhatsApp. I sent. You never even opened it.
Up to date.
So good enough that you are the one calling me and the phone is on speaker. My father, the king, has summoned me. I am his son. I respect the throne and the tradition. And I know it. Who am I to say no? How come? But please, you endeavor first as an aid to the king, where the thing can well go tan, so that when you are talking, you can even brief your master and say, no, Ode, I don't think Makai is true. There was no foreign character that was imposed. We are only saying, okay, have you not heard that this governor is bad, this governor is good? Is it directed at what person? The office of a governor is not a personal office. People go and people come. So if I want to tell the story of government and governance, and I'm building the character of a governor who is a chief executive officer of a state, would you say it's an attack on a person? So that is what it's supposed to be. Watch it, then bring a brief to your boss. Then if there are questions, take notes, then I can now speak to those questions.
Okay.
But in all, nobody can deny the fact that Ohioma remains one of our biggest exports from Kogi State, not just even the Igala people. No film had the star cast that we had. That's an investment of almost 40 million naira. Right? That was not done to debase the honor of the Igala kingdom. That was done to remind us of who we are and export us to borders beyond ours. If anyone that knows me, then you should know too well that I love this kingdom and I love the stories we have heard, and we seek that the kingdom comes back to its track. Who is Ogijo? Right? We made a movie that should be able to serve. Is a wake-up call to say, okay, let us even look at it.
That is the message of the movie.
That's the message.
Okay. All right. So as it is now, with the call of Attah, or the palace rather,
yes,
what is the way forward for you, and the call on the Igala people, especially your fans and those who have been supporting your craft all these years?
My father has called me. I am privileged to be so honored by the paramount ruler of the Igala kingdom. Atakale Kachale, Atamideju, Atomachala. Who am I not to hearken to the call of a God? It is a privilege that the gods have called me. Perhaps the gods have even arranged this movie for me to be able to have this close access to my father. And I say, Gabaidu, this is not intended to debase the honor of your throne or tradition. This was done from the place of reminder, based on what we heard in history and how powerful we were, the kingdom, the throne, and the exploit we did. We also heard that once upon a time, the Igala kingdom was one of the five most powerful kingdoms on the continent of Africa. Are we that today? Once upon a time, we used to be leaders.
Yeah.
Are we that today? What is going wrong? Maybe maybe there's something you can pick. Maybe there's something the traditional institution can pick. I said, okay, I can get the Kani Achille Anagbadwa. I remember recently when I was at an event when the Etemaye Yakbubi Yena nele do mota malek ben we fanefa. Maybe if we begin to do our festivals, it will become an opportunity for the king to curse and to bless, and for your sons and daughters to gather and hear from your mouth what to do, what not to do. What is that thing that binds us together today as a people from January to December? Nothing. What happens to the Igbegume? What happens to Ogoyali? What happens to Italo? What happens to Ocho? These are moments where the king can curse and bless. These are moments where the king comes face to face with his congregation. Tradition is the biggest strength. Icholo, which is what is tradition. Sacrifice to Icholo, innit? Icholo shun shanen. Chakma kakubika agboleden. Chunla adu shoyaline. Creating something that looks like a semblance, or that can serve as a reminder, or that can serve as a wake-up call. So the intention is not to insult the king, or the throne, or the kingdom. I'm Igala.
All right.
And the last 10 years, anybody that have known me, that have seen my works, can tell how much of love and passion I put into telling our story to preserve our cultural heritage, to preserve our language, and export it.
Thank you so much, Thomson Makolo Jnr. You have said a whole lot on this show, and time is not even enough for us to talk more on some other things, your life, career, and how you are pushing, especially that you are producing, several movies year in, year out, how you've been getting resource to finance some of these projects. But again, other times we'll have enough, time to talk and discuss better. Wish you well, and I hope that your outing in the palace will bring success and bring more, something good to the table.
We will only go there to listen to the king.
Yes, yeah.
If he feels that we have offended him and the tradition, we will apologize.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you for that statement. All right, until next time, my name is Attah Igala Palace Jr. and this is What Now. If you have not been following us on all our social media handles and platforms, please do that.
Go follow.
Until next time, my name is Attah Igala Palace Jr. and bye for now.